Hello everyone, I am the Professor Dr. Shin-Ho Kim and this is Research and Writing. Today, first class actually I teach you how to write a resume, and the second class actually I teach about how to write cover letter. And today actually I wanted to teach about how to write a book report or book review. This is very important when you are in college. Actually, every class usually their professor, the professors they are requesting book reports. So does the prospect of writing a book review or a book report make you feel like this? Yeah, you are depressed. Okay, I understand. Especially as a international student, writing essay or writing book report is very, very hard. And also, when I was also in the college, and English was not my first language, as you know, so I had extremely hard time. Every actually class, whatever actually class or courses I take, the professor requests me write down the book review or book report, and I had very, very hard time. And that's why I'm teaching you today how to write a book report or article report. Book reports are usually one of the first assignment given during the semester, usually every class, okay? Every class, the professor requests the book report. A book report is not a summary. Many students, especially in Asian students, they misunderstand. The book report is just summary of the book. No. In the United States, no. Summary is not a book report. Definitely there is some part of the summary, but there must be evaluation. So it looks at the quality, meaning, and the significance of a book, work of literature. It is a reaction paper. Reaction. You should show your attitude, okay, your response or your perspective in the book review, focusing on purpose, content, and authority, in which strengths and the weakness of the material are analyzed. So you must describe what is a strong point or what is a weak point in that book, okay? Except the Bible, every human's actually books, they have some problem. So there has some limited perspective. That's why every book has some strong point, every book has some weak point. That's why when you read the book, sometimes you agree, but sometimes you disagree. You must express about your thinking, okay? You should examine what the author has tried to do, evaluate how well the author has succeeded, and present evidence to support this evaluation. So every author, the author of the book, has some specific point, some specific perspective. So you should actually read their point, and also you should evaluate. It's good, it's bad, it's medium. You should express about your thinking, your evaluation about that book, okay? So book review, book report. The first step is to read the book. Of course, without reading the book, how can you write your book report? First of all, you must read it, okay? Allow yourself enough time to be able to truly read and evaluate the book. Sometimes you must read at least once, but sometimes you should read that book twice or three times, okay? Read actively and critically. Usually, many Asian students, including me, we are so passive. We are not active when we reading the book. But when you read the book, please be active and critical. Engage with the text. Highlight and underlining passages, okay? You buy the book, okay, first, and you read the book. And some point you think this is a very good idea. You're gonna highlight it, or you're gonna underline it, and also write in the margin. So if you agree, I strongly agree, or you disagree, I don't think so. You should write down something in the margin on the book. So make a prediction and test them. Ask a question and answer them. Maybe when you're reading the book, maybe you have a lot of actually question in your mind, and you should write down your question in the book. Okay, that's gonna be active reading, not passive reading. Especially, yeah, when I also study in United States, when I read the book, I actually using a lot of highlights and underlining, and also I write a lot of things on the book. So when I actually try to write down my book review, it was very effective because I try to focusing on highlighting, underlining, and my another writing in the margin. I'm using that. So that's very important. Book review must actually typical book review consists of two part summary. As I said, most actually Asian students they only summary, but as I said, summary is not a book report. Okay, book report has two parts. Number one is a summary. Number two is analysis. You should evaluate that book. That's gonna be called analysis. Occasionally, a professor will wanna additional information. Sometimes biographical material, personal opinion, career application. Sometimes, yeah, some specific professor actually requesting you must include these things in your book report. But if they don't say anything, you should write down your book report with two parts, summary and analysis, 50 and 50, okay? Summary 50. If you write down 2 pages book report, 1 page gonna be summary. Another 1 page gonna be analysis, your evaluation. So there is no standard discipline specific way to write a book report. Often a professor will provide guideline and format, but usually without it, this is freestyle. There is no actually specific format. Otherwise, you may create your own outline. That's why it looks like a book report looks like a essay or a diary because there is no format. So, but book review, okay, sample outline. This is gonna be 3 parts. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, analysis. Number 2 is a summary. Number 3 is analysis. As I said, main 2 part is summary, and another 50% is analysis. So you must mention about what the strengths of this book and what is the weakness of this book. As I said, every book has a good point. Every book has also a weak point. So you should figure it out. Sometimes when you write down a book report, you should have some basic knowledge about the author and about the book. So conclusion. So usually introduction, main body, conclusion. But main body is very important. Summary and analysis. This is one of the big part of the book. So number 1, actually one of the part is a summary. Everybody, maybe you already know about the summary. When you read the book, you usually doing the summary. A summary is a brief, concisely written synopsis of the book. A summary restates author's main point, purpose, intent, and the supporting detail in your one word. You should not copy from the book. You should change the author's vocabulary into your one word, okay? Do not copy. That's gonna be, if you copy from the book, that's gonna be little problem when you study, especially study in United States. Summaries are written to help you gain a better grasp of the original as well as show that you have read and understand the assigned material. So summary is one of the part, as I said, maybe most of you already know about how to summarize the book. But in the United States, don't copy from the book. You should write down in your one vocabulary, in your one word. Summary tips. Summary should be no longer than a quarter of your paper. Usually a page or 2 of a summary is sufficient. Among maybe 3 or 4 pages, 1 or 2 pages, okay? 1 or 2 pages. What did I say? Around 50%. 50% of the book report should be summary, but another 50% going to be your evaluation. The majority of your paper should be devoted to the analysis and avoid a chapter by chapter summary. Some book actually compose over 20 chapter. You should not chapter 1 summary, chapter 2 summary, chapter 3 summary. Don't do that, okay? You must erase the chapter. Just try to write down your book summary within 1 page, okay? And avoid quoting heavily from the book, from the source. That means do not copy. Do not copy from the book. The summary should be in your one word. When you read the book, actually you should write down your one language, okay? And it is not easy. Pascal said that only because I have not had time to make it shorter. Yeah, his sentence mentioned that it is very hard to summarize, make a short, okay? Only make a 1 page summary of the 300 pages. That's very hard. And the first part is summary. Summary, if you write down 2-page book report, 1 page must be summary, but another 50%, another page should be analysis. Analysis is a detailed evaluation of the thesis presented by the author. You should analyze that book, okay? Relate the strengths and weak point. Strengths and weak point must be. I think, one example, I think this is a strong point in this book. But I disagree because he didn't describe it in detail. So this is so bad in this part. You should mention about that. So what is the good and what is bad in that book? What did the author do well or not well? He doing well or not doing well? This does not actually communicate if you like it or not. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. If you like it, I like it, but you should mention about, explain why you like it, and I don't like this one, and you must explain why you don't like that. You should explain about that. Analysis tip: you do not necessarily need to work chronologically. That means according to the time, okay, through the book, as you discuss it. You can organize your paragraph more usefully by theme, method, or other elements of the book. Yeah, as I said, in your one analysis, in your one language, okay? You don't need to follow chapter by chapter, as I said. You can organize by yourself. Keep comparison to other books. If you read other book and comparing with other book, what is this book's strengths and what is the weak point of this books? So in order to do that, maybe you should read a lot of books, okay? So keep comparison to other book brief so that the book under review remain in the spotlight. So to become a professional or to be a doctor in some specific part, PhD degree, you should read a lot of books. And every book has some specific point, okay? Unfortunately, in Korea, many authors had the same viewpoint. There is no difference from this book and other books. But when I study in the United States, I figure out that even there are two books viewpoint perspective are totally different from each other, because the authors has some specific viewpoint. That's why I can figure out what is this book's strength and what is other book's weak point. That's why in order to writing a good book report, you should read a lot of books actually. Avoid excessive quotation. That means copy. Do not copy, okay? Do not copy from the content. And another analysis tip is read the book, not the book you wish the author has written. Do not criticize the book for not being something it was never intended to be. So sometimes one book can describe everything. Maybe one of the example is that the life of Jesus Christ. Within one book, it is impossible to write down every single day of Jesus Christ. Okay, it is impossible. So some book or some movies actually they focusing on some specific day, some specific event. That's why. Okay, present a balanced analysis. Avoid voicing strong agreement or disagreement. If you disagree with that book, you should actually describe why are you disagree with that book or disagree with the author. You should be professional. Sometimes you should read other book, and from other books actually other authors actually perspective, you should describe, you should criticize this book's author's thinking. Harsh judgments are difficult to prove and can give readers the sense that you were unfair in your assessment. The meaning is that if you disagree, you should prove what its wrongness, what this book has a problem. So you should provide the specific, you should provide the professional knowledge about that. In that case, you can disagree. Usually, mostly, maybe you're going to agree, okay? When you disagree, you should show your professional knowledge about that. Another analysis tip is do not be afraid to disagree with the author. Usually, when I study in South Korea, the professor like the student who always agree with the professor. But when I study in the United States, many professors actually love the student who disagree with the professor. The professors love the critical one. So science-specific example to back up your assertion because you are not a professional scholar. So usually every book or authors they are professional, but you are just a beginner or in that specific scholar academic part. So you can argue with him. You can win. Okay, you can win against the author sometimes. In order to win against the professional author, you should study more than maybe 5 years in that part. Good analysis requires time and critical thinking. Yeah, writing one page sometimes takes 5 hours. Sometimes only writing one page takes maybe 10 hours. In order to write down a good report, it requires a lot of time and also critical thinking. You must look below the surface and focus on the deeper issue present in the book. As you read, constantly evaluate what you have read and make a note of your question and thoughts. That's why active reading. When you read the book, do not be passive, okay? You should be active. With your ballpen, your highlight, you must underline, you must write down something, okay? At the time, you can be a good candidate or how to write a good book report. And the analysis question, actually, who is the audience? Every book has some specific audience. Bible is for everybody, but maybe introduction to maybe business. That's not for the normal audience. Only to the student who want to business administration. So who is the author? And did the author communicate effectively to that author? What sources were used? Actually, many books, when you look at the bottom, there are a lot of reference, footnote, okay, footnote. Even me, when I writing a book, actually, sometimes I read more than 100 books. And if I quoted from that book, I must actually write down reference, footnote, okay? So what sources were used? Does it also use many quality academic sources to support what was written? Actually, every scholars, they actually copy from other books. Only one sentence or two sentences from other books, okay? Because every author cannot be creative, okay? He cannot do alone. He needs some professional support from other scholars. That's why they actually read a lot of book, and they mention that book in that book also through the footnotes or reference. What are the author presupposition? Notion. The author assumes read to have a certain background or information, especially when you study in master degree or PhD degree. The authors guess that you have already basic knowledge about that part, okay? So if you really wanted to study in PhD program or master degree, you should good at when you are undergraduate school. So every actually also some aim, some authors, some specific authors has some specific audience. How does this book relate to other sources on the same topic? Even though I say a lot of things, as I said, the main part of the book report is one part is summary and the other part is analysis. So in order to write down analysis, you should have some professional knowledge. That's why this analysis part is very important. So regarding the question, does the author present a clear thesis, argument? What is the purpose of the book? Why did the author write down this book? Why? For what? And does the author contribute anything new to the field? Any creativity? And does the author exhibit any bias? He has any misunderstanding? Does the author has an inclusive worldview or styles? Are there any errors in the author's logic? Some books actually a lot of errors, okay? Especially from the national perspective. Actually, many native scholars, they esteem their nation and they despise other country. So in this perspective, that book has a lot of weak points. And maybe next week I'm going to give this sample article to you because I understand it is impossible for you to read one book during the semester. It is impossible, especially English book, 300 pages. If I give you one book, 300 pages, maybe it takes for 1 year for you to read the book. So next week, I'm going to give you this sample article, and you are going to write down this article report to me. Actually, your homework for this week is summarize this lecture. Just summarize this lecture. Next week, based on this lecture, I'm going to give you a little big homework to you. Okay? And the references, if you really wanted to learn about how to write my book report, there are a lot of actually information on the website. You may look any of the this website. Okay. Today I'm gonna finish my lecture concerning of how to write a book report. Next week I'm going to give you homework about the book report. And this week's your homework is just a summarize of my lecture. Okay, see you next week. Okay, thank you.